everybody. My name is Charles Barton. I'm from Mountain Home, Arkansas. And what I'm going to tie for you is not a trout fly at all, but it's a new tarpon fly that I've come up with using a very unique material from Whiting Farms, which is Whiting Spey Hackle. And it has a very unique feather on it that creates, well, I'll just kind of show you the effect it creates. It's a real loose, almost fur-like fiber, non-clingy, non-webby, does not stick together. And I have caught tarpon on that fly in this past February down in Belize, which is a wonderful country. And I'm going to tie you up a fly that I have named the Belizable. Okay, tying the Belizable. The first thing everybody wants to know about, you may have to find a substitute because these are not commercially available right now. It's an experimental hook from Daiichi. It's a red salmon style hook. It has a bend back eye in the salmon style and a sprout bend, but it's a size 1, number is 2143, and it comes in red. I like to tie in on the bend back. I'm tying with a monofilament thread. A couple of reasons for that. It's a little bit tougher, will take a little bit more abuse even though tarpon don't have teeth. But the other thing is when I hit the mono with a, in this case I'm using a fingernail product to lock it all down, the monofilament will also then disappear on the hook. I've taken some nice tight wraps up near where the nose of the fly will be, and then I'm just going to loose spiral back down to the bend. Normally when people put a tag on the end of a fly, which is done using a holographic, in my case I use a holographic mylar material. I've got 2 colors of it that I will use, silver and red. Obviously I don't use red on a red hook because it would really disappear, and I want it to show. But typically when you tag a fly, you'll start much further up the hook and then probably only take it back to the bend and then stop. In my case, I take it down to where my thread is past the point of the hook, and I'm going to wrap it down into the bend of the hook, because that will produce the desired result of that flash in the middle of the body of the fly. And because I'm tying rotary, which you'll see me use in a minute, at each step you have to knot your line and tie it off. Otherwise all your wraps will all come undone as the vise turns the hook shank. Okay, got our tinsel tied in, and then you just begin wrapping it backwards. You want to try to avoid that hook point. Daiichi hooks are exceptionally sharp coming out of the box, and they will cut the fool out of that, and then you get to start all over again. And I want to take this down into the bend. That's good enough, and then we want to bring it back out again. Ooh, that's not very smooth. Cut away the excess, and that step is finished. Okay, now we're going to select some colors. We're going to go with a nice burnt orange. We use that in combination with purple. And we'll do let's do a black head on this thing. So these are the 3 colors that the fly will be tied out of. We'll start, first layer we'll use is purple. Now to select a feather on it, these look like a normal chicken neck or cape, but when you get in here to try to find a single feather, then you begin to see the inherent difference between this feather and any other chicken feather out there. See the long, wavy filaments. Pop one off. Let's get an orange. Another very interesting thing about the spey feathers is that the characteristic, this long webbiness, holds true all the way down through the finer feathers into the neck, which allows me in some instances to tie with that feather as small as this, down to a size 10, and still get the same effect. So the characteristic of the feather is true through the entire neck. You can see on the feather that down towards the base, it's kind of hairy and furry, marabou-like. And then as you peel it back, you begin to lose that.
Attention everybody, we're going to have our first gambler's draw.
And that's the part you want. You can see where I've taken the feather and just tied the stem end down along the shank of the hook. A lot of times in using feathers for flies, we have to be concerned with whether the convex or the concave side is out, because feathers have a tendency to cup. With this particular feather, it just doesn't matter which way you put it on there. And I am now going to just simply turn the hook around in a circle. Okay, we're right about at the end of this usable part of this feather. So now we're going to bring our thread around and lock it down. We got a couple trapped under, so we'll just get in and gently pull on those. That feather is now locked to the hook shank. Trim the tip. Groom the feather back a little bit. Take a couple of more wraps just to secure it. And that's feather number one. Second feather we're going to use is going to be orange. Alrighty, now we're going to just do a simple whip finish out on the end. Draw our thread tight, cut it off. We're going to take our nail polish and hit the mono. And as I told you, if you'll notice, the mono just about completely disappears under this coating of nail cement. And that is the Belizable and how you tie it.